Hello, everyone. Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is our long anticipated Dowsing Rods question. And Craig and Annie Bear, hello. Thank you for joining. Annie Bear, I starred a few of your questions and I have some similar ones. Were you asking where is Epstein? Hi, Lightberry. Haven't seen you here before. Doug Kirby, good to see you. We're asking the Dowsing Rods tonight. So if anyone has any questions about current events, not personal questions, unfortunately, please put them in the chat. Ooh, good question, Annie Bear. Who is Epstein helping from the other side? And I have a list here myself. I think we all know what the questions of the hour are, at least here in the US, but I feel like the whole world is watching. And we'll wait for a few people to stop in. Thank you, Lightberry. I have a similar question. Yeah. I can't decide. Well, I'll tell you my opinion when I get to that. I go back and forth on that one. So today, first of all, if anybody's watching this after the fact, I want to introduce myself. My name is Kelly S., the Mystic Next Door, Kelly Scarborough. I am a psychic and a medium, as well as a healer, and today we're playing with dowsing rods. So much fun. So much fun. So let's see. Annie Bear says, I'm drying flower petals for the celebrations to come. Oh my gosh. Oh, one can hope, right? It always seems like one more time, if only this, if only that. And it seems like it never comes. Okay, I just saw a notification go out, so perhaps people will join. I also forgot my glasses, so if you see me squinting, you'll know why. But I wrote all my questions here. I have them, and of course I'll take your questions as well. So looking forward to this, because believe it or not, I don't know the answers to all these questions, and sometimes you'll see me respond in a surprised way, because I might think it's another way, and then it's not, according to the dowsing rods and our guides. So, good question about Ivana's coffin. Okay. Yeah, an ET question. Awesome. Hi, Polly. Good to see you. We're just killing time here for a minute. Hi, Greg. Until everybody jumps in, I just saw the notification go out. So I have a series of questions. This is our Dowsing Rods Day. And I'll do a demo in a minute for anybody who's new to show you how my dowsing rods work. Some people, they've trained them to do different things. Which stunt are you talking about, Annie Bear? There are so many stunts. Will the stunt he's planning be successful? Hi, Lynn LeGlaire. Put your questions in for Dowsing Rods, okay? Current Events Day. We're asking about current events. And hi, Joyful Journey. Good to see you. It's kind of an overcast. I'm killing time till some people pop in. Overcast day here in Denver, Colorado. There are isolated storms, and I welcome the rain because, it kind of keeps the temperature down. It's been hot. Okay. So as people are joining and popping in, and I only see a few at this point, I'm going to start by giving everybody a demo of how my dowsing rods work. Once again, Many of you know, and those who are joining me later do not. And I want to say, of course, all the, please hit the like and the subscribe and notification bell and all those YouTube-y things. It helps my channel and it helps others to find me. Okay, so you can't see this. It kind of looks like they're turned outward from your perspective. If I were to sit further back, yeah, you can see my guest bed behind me. They're actually straight together from my perspective. Okay, so I'm going to ask my guides and angels, are you here with me now and ready to answer questions? So there we go. They hesitated. Wake up, guides. All right. Can you point to your direction, please? They always go right over my right shoulder. So we could drill down later and ask who it is that's with me. But I actually think they're sort of pointing to me because I think some of these answers come from my higher self. So, but we're all connected, right? Okay, I see your question too, Lynn. Thank you. And oh, that's a good question. I didn't have that one down about Rupert Murdoch. That's a good question. All right, I'm going to start with my questions, which are probably similar to yours, and then we'll get into your questions as well as more people jump in. Yes, Freya, you can ask a question. This is current events. So things about the world or about spirituality or about, not personal questions today, please. We do that on Fridays. If I do it on Friday, it's going to have to be late, so it may be Saturday morning this week. Last week of summer camps coming up. Okay. As some of you know, I run summer camps. Okay. So the first question I have is, oh, hold on. I have to move this so I can see. Okay. There we go. All right. First question that I have is, will the Epstein files lead to the ultimate downfall of Trump? That is a big ol' yes, guys. I thought it was going to be, quibbly. All right, Catherine, hi. Thanks for joining. I will star your question here real quick. Catherine, yeah. Nice to see you here. Okay. All right. Will Trump be removed from office as a result of the files being released? It's kind of a bobbly no, a very soft no, like ish. So the way I would interpret that is he won't be removed as a direct result, or maybe something else might get him first. Well, let me ask that question. Will something else, some other scandal or some other issue remove Donald Trump before this gets to him? Yes. Okay, so something else will come along. Will he be removed from office as a result of Amendment 25, which is where Congress can vote to have him removed? Okay, will Donald Trump removed from office as a result of Amendment 25? Look at this. It's coming very close, but not quite. Oh, now it crosses. All right. Well, so for me, that would mean eventually it could take some time if he stays in office. Again, it looks like something else might remove him, like Amendment 25, but perhaps related to something else. Okay. Yes. Annie Bear says so many factors converging. Okay. Will MAGA believe that he was involved? That's a yes. Okay, so his supporters will believe. And if so, will he lose their support? That's a yes as well. That one sort of surprised me because I thought it was going to be a little bit, in between. But I do think it's going to affect and start, I think it's going to start their questioning of many things. Okay. All right. So on to Ghislaine Maxwell. Will Ghislaine Maxwell release news that links Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein? That's a yes. It was a kind of a reluctant yes. Okay. I had another question pop into my mind, but I'll just move on. Will Pam Bondi and Kash Patel be in? Well, I'm sorry. Are Bondi and the DOJ going to offer a pardon to Maxwell for her silence? Yes. Will Maxwell take the deal? That looks like a no. I think that's smart of her because I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw them. Is Maxwell in danger for her life? Yes. Okay. Will Bondi and Kash Patel be in legal trouble for a cover-up? For a cover-up? That's a yes. It's like an eventual yes. I don't think it's going to be right away. And I wanted to mention that the Wall Street Journal just released another news story this afternoon that says that Bondi told Trump that he was all over the reports, the files that they have on Epstein. She told him back in May, and so that we have some trouble here. Okay, so it looks like they will be in trouble. I'm going to ask this question: will Bondi be fired by Donald Trump? Yes. I think I also read somewhere that he's livid that they're not covering up his these lies. Will Kash Patel be fired? Yes. I want to say, is this the beginning of the end for him? Whoa, look at that. Didn't even hesitate. Yes. Okay. Any other questions, please feel free to put them in. I didn't show you guys this, but I think you can tell when they cross this way, that's a yes. When they go out for me, that's a no. That may not be the way that you do it. I've seen many different ways, but that's the way they work for me. Okay. All right. Will other politicians or prominent people be implicated when these files are released? That's a yes. Hey, Fatima, how are you? Okay. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay. Hi, Liz. Let's say hi to everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Put your questions in if you have any questions for the Dowsing Rods. Just current events, please. Current events, spiritual, ET, all the other things, just not personal. Okay. The answer was yes, other politicians will be implicated. There we go. It just confirmed. Okay. Will some Democrats be on the list? Yes. Will some Republicans be on the list? Oops. It's like choking me. Yes. Okay. So equal opportunity. Will some celebrities be on the list as well? That's a yes. Okay. That's a big yes. Okay, I got that question for you, Annie Bear, about ETs. Okay. Gosh, I'm hot. I have a fan blowing on me too, but I think sometimes when the energy comes through, I get really, really warm. Okay. Uh, will we see all of the documents that were collected at Epstein Island? That's a no. But it's kind of a slight no. So I think that means most. And I got your question, Lynn. That's a great question. Will intelligence officers? Got your question, Craig. Okay. All right. Well, let's ask that question right away. Will some intelligent officers be on the Epstein list? Yes. Will we see figures from around the world on the Epstein lists? Yes. Okay, so not just Americans. We already know that Prince Andrew was involved. Okay. Yeah, so some intelligence officers. How interesting. Not shocking. Not shocking. Okay. Will other women come forward about their experiences with Epstein? Yep, we'll see more. Was Trump complicit in providing girls from Mar-a-Lago to Epstein's exploits? Was Trump complicit? That's that's a yes. At first, it was kind of slow. Let's put it this way: did he allow Ghislaine to search for women, young girls at Mar-a-Lago? Yes. Hi, Lucy. Good to see you. Okay, Annie Bear. Got your question? Oh, okay. All right. Has Epstein been blackmailing, or before his death, was he blackmailing folks from the list? Yes. Absolutely. Look at that. I'll ask that question, Liz. Did Trump rape Ivanka? Oh, that was a no. That's not crossing. Did Trump rape Ivana, his wife? That was a yes. I think she wrote about that in a book. Yes. Okay. Disgusting. These people are disgusting. Was Epstein really a financier? Look at this. It's sort of like barely. The tips are barely crossing, guys. Like just coming together. So okay, let me ask this. Was Epstein's financial prowess, whatever, a front for his exploits? Yes. Was Epstein a thief? This is from Annie Bear. Was Epstein a thief? He was not a thief, according to the Dowsing Rods. Oh, that's interesting. Thought it was going to say yes. Did he gain his wealth through blackmailing people? Yes. I guess that's a form of theft, but he wasn't. I guess he wasn't a thief in the classical way. All right, this is something that's been bandied about, and I don't know if I have an opinion one way or the other. I kind of do have an opinion. All right, was Epstein an agent for Mossad? Oh, that was a yes. Oh my gosh. I was kind of thinking I was going to say no. So Mossad is the intelligence group for Israel. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Okay, I have to get over that one for a sec. Yeah, Craig says just a pimp and a blackmailer. That's all. That's all. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I want to ask some kind of question about why Donald Trump used Epstein's plane for his campaign. If you can think of a question, let me know. You have a question. Okay, Lynn says, wow, Mossad isn't the best intelligence group for nothing. Well, I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense, Lynn, because if they can get some sexual blackmail on these prominent figures, they're likely to be able to get intelligence from them, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good question, Catherine Lewis. Will justice be served for the victims? When it goes back and forth, and there's a yes in the end, but when it bobbles back and forth, for me, that's telling me kind of like maybe, sort of, kind of. I don't know if you can put that genie back in the bottle, if you know what I mean. Okay. Annie Bear, did 45 and Epstein set up men with girls to blackmail them? So did 45 join Epstein in setting up men with girls? Little bit. See, that crosses just a little bit. I'm sure he suggested friends of his to go to the island. I'm going to go back here really quickly. Oh, okay. Did they use the blackmail for decades? Was this employed for decades? There you go. What about the KGB, says Lynn? Did they use Epstein? Did the was the KGB involved in Epstein Island? Yeah. Was Epstein working for the KGB? It kind of comes right to the edge of crossing, but it doesn't. It's kind of like sort of. Okay. Annie Bear asks, did 45 and Epstein compete as predators? Did they compete as predators? I'm hearing they shared. I don't think they competed, really. No. Okay. Did 45 and Epstein bond over their monster father figures? Oh, did Epstein have a monster for a father? I mean, it stands to reason. Did they bond over their monster father figures? No, it doesn't feel like that. It feels more like they saw eye to eye because of their experience, but they didn't share their experience or talk about it. Lynn says, did Trump use Epstein's plane for the campaign as an excuse to make sure the plane was clean of any evidence? Ooh, okay. Let me ask it again. Did Trump use Epstein's plane as an excuse to clean all the evidence? It's kind of a not really. That's really weird. I still can't understand why he had got hold of it. Okay. Was Epstein the predator in his relationship with 45? Yes. So was 45 blackmailed by Epstein? I heard ultimately. I feel like at first they were, or they thought they were buddy buddy. I think Epstein lured in anybody who he could develop a relationship with, and then he had them. Was the blackmail material at Mar-a-Lago? Was that in any of those boxes? No. No. Okay. I'm going to ask another question from my list here. Did anybody hear that Epstein's lawyer in the first time that he was caught for and sort of slapped on the wrist for his dealings with young women, the lawyer, whose name I don't know, died today in Florida? Okay, was Epstein's lawyer in Florida, was his death a homicide? Whoa, that was quick. Look. I kind of thought it was going to be another so. Nope. Okay. Did Epstein's lawyer die from natural causes? No. Okay. Let's see. I see some more questions. Okay. Annie Bear asks, was Melania groomed to be sold? Yes. Was Melania a willing agent? That's a no. Look at that. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh my. Did anybody hear today that they're calling the Kennedy Center like the Melania Trump Center for something like that? Isn't that insane? The Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Okay. Was Ivanka something foul play? Oh, was Ivana's end foul play? Was Ivana's end foul play? Woo, that was a yes. Ivana's his wife. Ivanka's his daughter. Okay, Lynn Laguerre says yes. Roy Black, the lawyer. I don't understand why that old lawyer was so important. I think it's because they see the documents, they see the names, they have the names of the victimizers too. So those are the people who are protecting themselves. I feel like a sneeze is coming. Does Ivanka, his daughter, and I'm wondering about this too. Does Ivanka know the truth? Whoa. Okay. A big yes. Okay. Yes. And I feel like we have not seen any of Ivanka since he's been back in office, really hardly at all. And I feel like they're laying low on purpose. Was Ivanka groomed? That's kind of like, look at that. It's like an almost. It comes really close. That might have been part of their fallout. Maybe Epstein made moves on Ivanka. Okay. Liz asks, will Ghislaine Maxwell be bribed, then pardoned? Okay, I asked this a little earlier, but you're asking it a little bit differently. Will Ghislaine Maxwell be bribed for a pardon? Let me ask it a little different way because it's like, see, it's not even answering. Okay. Will Ghislaine Maxwell be offered a pardon for her silence? And I got a yes before. But it's like light. See that? It's very, it did the same thing the first time. It wasn't that clear. And I also asked, and it does say that she's in danger. Will Melania flee to Switzerland? Will Melania flee the country when Trump is finally caught? That's a yes. Okay. I want to ask about Epstein's suicide case because, as we all know, it's pretty fishy, especially with the 3 minutes of tape missing from that thing that was released, the file, the film or the video that was released. And I heard an interview with Epstein's brother, who says that he spoke with the what do you call the person who, I don't know why I'm blanking on it. The person who looks at the body to determine whether it was foul play or whatever, the medical examiner. The medical examiner said, and many have heard this, that Epstein's neck was broken in 3 places, which is unheard of in a death, in a suicide death of his type, in a small space. Sometimes 1 bone might be broken. Very, very, very rare. Occasionally, you might see 2 broken, but 3 it's almost impossible to break through suicide. So, question is, will Epstein's suicide case be reopened? That's a yes. I don't feel like it'll happen for a while, though. Yeah, Liz says, was it a guard? That's what they're thinking, or some agent who Barr sent in or something like that. All right. Lightberry says, Muskrat claims, hold on a second, I lost your question. Muskrat claims Steve Bannon is in the files. Is he telling the truth? Okay. Is Steve Bannon in the Epstein files? Huh. That's a yes. Sorry if you saw my disgusted face, because he's just another one that I don't even want to think about him naked. Annie Bear. I always call you Stanny Bear. Annie Bear asks, will Bill Barr ever be exposed? For exactly what I was just asking about. Will Bill Barr ever be exposed? I am getting pictures that I feel like he'll be exposed after definitively after he is gone from this earth. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. I'll ask your question, Annie Bear. I think he's dead. I think he was murdered. Was Epstein removed, and is he living somewhere else? No. His brother supposedly, I heard this interview. His brother says that he ID'd him from the coroner's office. Yeah. And you said, did his fail-safes hold? Explain that a little bit more, Annie Bear. Maria, we're not doing personal questions today. I'm sorry. Janet, are these outrageous happenings? All these outrageous happenings would not be tolerated if it was about Dems. You are so Right. And maybe we should ask some questions about Obama, because he's trying to point the finger at Obama and Hillary and everybody else right now. Oh, something else came out in the news today about how the Signal Gate stuff that Hegseth uses. Signal has there's proof that there was classified information shared, because he claims there wasn't. But remember, that was the reason that they've been trying to go after Hillary all the time. Okay, Annie Bear says, Ghislaine has safeguards too. Are they holding? Okay, are Ghislaine's safeguards holding? So she has, she's given people some information if she should be bumped off. Okay, are Ghislaine's safeguards holding? That's kind of a not really, maybe. That's an ask again later, right? Not really sure what safeguards. Okay. Will the ICC get involved in her deposition? What does the ICC stand for? International Crime? I don't know what it is. Will it get involved in her deposition? Again, that's a not really sure. Was Robert Maxwell ended or accidental? Okay, who's Robert Maxwell? I'll ask the question, but I don't know who that is. Okay. Was Robert Maxwell ended? Was his life ended? Oh, yes, that's a yes. Sorry, Henry's out there in the hallway. All right. Oft, yes. Okay. Why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? Now, I don't know if we can do a why, but did Biden intentionally not release the Epstein files? That's a no. Did he hold on to them because he was following the law? That's a slight yes. Was he holding them because there were people in them he didn't want to out? That's kind of a slow no, that he wasn't holding them to prevent the release for others. Ask some more questions about that, and we can see. So the reason many psychics can't pick up on Epstein is because he refuses to cross over. That's a good question. I haven't really tried to tune into his energy because he's so gross, so I don't know. Is the reason many psychics can't pick up on Epstein because he refuses to cross over? Has Epstein crossed over? That's a yes. Is Epstein in a long life review process? That's a yes. Okay. Is J.D. Vance... So, all right, Mary, hi. I have a question similar to yours. So, about J.D. Vance. Okay. Actually, I didn't include that here, but it's a good question. Okay. Is J.D. Vance working behind the scenes to expose Donald Trump? Is J.D. Vance working behind the scenes to... Yes. That was one of my questions as well, because there are stories that J.D. Vance met with the Wall Street Journal a couple days before that first Wall Street Journal story came out about the sexy letters, birthday letters that Trump wrote to Epstein about women. Okay. Is J.D. Vance doing the bidding of Peter Thiel, the Heritage Foundation, to try to remove Trump? I heard opportunity. I feel like this is like they see an opportunity and they're letting it play out. Okay. All right. Good questions, everybody. Thank you for putting them in here. Yeah, Annie Barrett, you said, I bet there were measures taken to ensure the files would be safe. Yes, and I think there are multiple files. And at this point, so many lawyers on both sides have seen them that I don't think it's feasible for them to just destroy them. Yeah, Sterling says rich people worldwide have copies. Yeah, I think there are copies all over the place. Yep. All right, it seems like whatever Trump accuses others of, he's guilty of. That's for sure. Projection. Okay, International Criminal Court. Thank you. And so that was Ghislaine's father. So he died from homicide as well. He was unalived. Oh, was Ghislaine's father Mossad? Let me ask that question. Was Ghislaine's father Mossad? What? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh, I just feel like there's so much we don't know. Liz, did Biden need to wait for red tape to open the files? I was a yes. Okay. I'm not sure what red tape, but Biden had 2 wars to contend with. The January 6th problem, Epstein files may not have been top of mind. I thought of that too, Lynn, because I feel like I feel like we almost needed to wait until his own people were ready to demand the files. Liz asks, is 45 on to Vance trying to remove him? Oh, that was a yes. Okay. When I tune into 45 right now, he feels so terrified. Okay. Heritage founder passed. Who is he now trying to help? Oh, I don't know if I can do that with the Dowsing Rods. Maybe we'll ask that question another time, but interesting. I actually don't think he's trying to help people who have evil motives. Now that I'm thinking about it, it feels like I don't think we go to the other side and continue working for wrongdoing. Were Ghislaine and Ivanka close friends? Were Ghislaine and Ivanka close friends? Not really. I'm also feeling like Trump tried to keep her away from them. Hi, Amanda. Just got home. Okay, put your questions if you have them. Excuse me. I'm doing current events questions. We've asked a lot about Epstein. Lightberry has a question about Cheeto's exit. Or Lightberry, sorry. Impeachment, health, forced out, he walks away. Okay, we asked some of these questions before. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear Henry's barking downstairs. He wants something. Okay. Cheeto's exit. All right, will Cheeto be impeached? I'm getting a no on that. Sort of a slight no. It looks like it's a bigger no than it is. From my perspective, it's like, I don't know, like 30%. Okay. Will Cheeto leave due to health problems? Oh, okay. And I have questions about that too, because I've thought from the day one that he had congestive heart failure, and I know a lot of people are saying that now, but that's what I think too. Does 45 have congestive heart failure? Yes. Will he be forced out due to his health problems? It's a very slight yes. Will he walk away due to his health problems? Yes. I feel pretty strongly. I mean, I think when the heat really picks up with this Epstein stuff, he's going to claim, I got to leave because of my health. And then he might try to skip the country. That's my sense. Will he leave before October 2025? Look at that. Now, those of you who've been watching me, I've always said that something's going to happen at the end of July and into August. I've been saying that since last November or December. I've felt that for quite a while. Okay. Thank you, Annie Bear. I love him too. All right. And I'm sorry my dog is, there he is. Hi, what's wrong? He's barking. He's confused. Normally, everybody's home this time of night. My husband went to the gym. Okay. Annie Bear asks, are there mirror players in the starships? Okay, I have some, I'm going to put that into the star category because I have a bunch of star questions, and so I'm going to get to those. But let's finish the Trump line of questioning. We could ask forever. Will Donald Trump go to prison for this? It's a slight no. It's not a very... Will he be on house arrest? There's a yes. Will he be held in a hospital setting? That's a no. Okay. Yeah. All right. So he's terrified because he knows what he's done and he feels cornered. Yep. For the first time in his life. Will Trump go after Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon too? Okay. Good question, Craig. Will Trump also go after Jimmy Kimmel? Yes. I've seen Jimmy Kimmel's kind of prompting him. I've seen that. Will he go after Jimmy Fallon? Nope. Jimmy Fallon doesn't go there in his monologues. He doesn't exactly say what he's thinking. Okay. Have we asked about crimes against humanity? Nope. I'm going to star that for you. I'm going to go into the starred questions in just a second. Hi, Gina Halleck. Yes, very upset about Stephen Colbert, but don't worry. I think he's going to be fine. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure I didn't miss any questions. You remember me saying that, Gina Halleck? Yeah. I didn't know what it was. I wasn't thinking Epstein would come up, but I felt the energy just felt like very tense this time of the year. Okay, Craig is asking for prayers for Morella Ricci. She asked me to ask you and Viviani. Oh, Okay, let's say our prayers for Morella Ricci. Health problems? Don't know. Whatever it is. Amanda asks, "Will Trump lose his power of speech?" I've seen a vision of him. It feels like an explosion, and so that could be metaphorical, like he has a ruptured, like an aneurysm or a stroke in his head. It could be literal. It could be from a bullet. But okay, will he lose his power of speech? There you go. Okay. Okay, I have a few more questions, so I'm going to keep starring and then I'll get into all your awesome starred questions. But let's finish the 45 line of questioning if we can. I don't know if there is an end to them. Will MAGA ever see his evil if he leaves due to health? Will MAGA see his evil if he leaves due to health? Isn't that funny? It's a very small yes. Okay. But I asked the question earlier if they would turn on him because of the Epstein stuff. If they see it, they will turn on him. So it's still a yes. I think it's like chip, 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 right? Okay. Craig says he'll slither away to Saudi Arabia. Oh, okay. Will there be a public vascular event? I kind of feel like there could be. Yeah. Will there be a public event where Trump experiences a vascular? Yes. Look at that. Like he's out somewhere and we see him stumble and fall. We don't wish ill, do we? We don't. But what we want is some of these travesties to end, right? Okay. Yes, it's ridiculous that he's controlling the media. This is what dictators do. That was from Janet. Okay, I'm trying to find all your questions. Sorry, it's going a little bit fast for me. Too fast for me. Good question, Gina. Is 45's higher self impacted by his negative behavior? And I have something to say about that. Is his higher self impacted by his negative behavior? No. I believe 45's higher self agreed to come to this earth during this lifetime to create change. I mean, he is creating change one way or the other to reveal some of the difficulties that we have on this earth, things that need to change. Okay, got your question, library. Okay. And what about Jon Stewart? Oh, good question. All right. Will Jon Stewart be called out by Trump? A little bit, but I don't think he can cancel HBO. Isn't he on HBO? Yeah. All right. Yes. No personal questions tonight, Maria. All right. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to go into, I know I'm missing some of your questions right now in the chat, but I have some star questions. Annie Bear asks the question, will Mike Johnson's stunt, will Mike Johnson be held accountable for the stunt of sending all the Congress people home? Will he be held accountable for that? It's kind of look at that. There's a lot of baubles in my dowsing rods tonight. Like, It's yet to be seen. I think some people see his nonsense as trying to cover up, and some people don't. Um, let's see. We already asked, will Epstein be pardoned? Oh, good question. Will Ivana's coffin be interred? No, is that the word? Will it be dug up? Will we discover what's under Ivana's coffin? Eventually, yeah. It's just like, God, that's just one of many, many things. Isn't that absurd? Okay. So many good questions, Annie Bear. This is about ETs. Are there more ET ships around our planet? Okay. Are there more ET ships around our planet at this time? Yes. I feel like that too. It's almost like they've all come for the big show. Um, I can't really ask the question about how many realms, so with the Dowsing Rods. Okay, I like this, Lynn. Lynn asked about Rupert Murdoch. Will Trump lose his lawsuit against Rupert Murdoch? Yes, he will lose his lawsuit against Rupert Murdoch. And I read somewhere that because he's filed suit, it was the stupidest thing you could do, because then they have to have all this discovery to reveal more of these documents, right? And so he can't complain about it, right? He can't block it. He's like forcing them out into the open if they haven't already been. Okay. We sort of asked this, but not really. Catherine asks, will Donald Trump finish his full term? No. Okay. Let's see. Back to the ET questioning. Are there ET events aligned with what's happening here? Yes. I think not just, not the Epstein stuff per se. I think everything that's happening on the earth right now. I do think so. Craig asks a good question. Are Donald Trump's leg problems caused by circulation issues? Yes. Big ol' yes. Very strong yes. Will it ultimately do him in? Big old strong yes. And he says, if so, thank you, McDonald's. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's, you can say you did this to yourself. Okay. Will the ICC and NATO install interim government body for the U.S. in the next 30 days? No. Not in the next 30 days. Will they do it at all? No. I don't think the ICC and NATO will be involved. Okay. I mean, I think they'll be involved, but I don't think that they'll be involved in installing a new government. Are there mirror players in the starships above and around us? I don't know what a mirror player is, but I'll ask the question. Are there mirror players in the starships above and around us? What is a mirror player? I have to check and see. Okay, Liz, no problem. See you later. I see an Elon Musk question. Okay. And Gina, you say you agree with my perspective on 45's sole purpose. However, he has been so cruel to so many. Yeah, I actually don't think that was part of his mission. I think it just got carried away, and he he's so self-centered. He's going to allow anybody who pays him top dollar or pays him a compliment to uh, do what they want. Yes, sending Congress home was an obvious move. Well, Manhattan. Okay. Oh, sorry. I see what your question is. Okay. Lifeberry, will Mondani be the new mayor of New York? I get a yes. How's he? I don't really know anything about the case. I mean, about the race. Okay, that would be interesting. Um, Annie Bear says, I think we are multidimensional. I agree. Clearing is what I meant by mirror players. Okay. Um, yeah, Janet says, no, he went rogue and took it too far with the free will. Yeah, right. I agree. I think I asked this one before, Late Barry, but will Bondi release fake? Oh, no, I didn't ask about fake. Will Bondi release fake Epstein files? Epstein files? No, this one's stuck. Okay. No, it doesn't look like it. Um, Amanda asks, oh, yes, we have to talk about alligator Alcatraz. Have crimes against humanity, will there be charges raised about alligator Alcatraz? Will people be charged for crimes against humanity for the detention centers? Yes. I read that somebody wrote an article in the Guardian that um, there are that they've been shackled. They were kept on buses for days because there wasn't room in the Miami detention centers in the heat, and then shackled by the hands behind their backs and forced to eat their food on styrofoam plates on the floor like dogs. It's disgusting. These are, these are people's father, brother, child. It's just awful. Okay. Are miracles, I like this question, are miracles lining up for all of us as we let go of the yuck? Are miracles lining up for us? Yes. Oh, that's a big old yes. Look at that. Do we have to let go of the yuck to ascend? Yes, we do. Okay. Thank you. All right. Sorry, that was a very beautiful question. Now here's one that's a little scary. Will there be a huge food shortage soon? Do you see this? Very unusual. It's like yes, no, maybe yes. I think what that means is some things will be scarce and other things will not. Um, and I think it'll come and go. We'll get, the eggs will be back on the shelf. Now they're gone. Bread or certain foods that we eat. I have to ask a personal question. Will Will there be a coffee shortage soon? Because I love coffee. Will there be a coffee shortage soon? That's just a slight. Do you see it? It's just the tips coming together. Like, will the price of coffee just go way up? Yes. Will the cost of will inflation increase? Yes. I think it's already increasing. Okay. That was a good question, Library. Will Elon flee in the next 30 days? Will Elon flee in the next 30 days? No. Will Elon spill the beans about election interference? Will Elon spill the beans about election interference? Yes. Has he already spilled the beans? Yes. Because he's posted things that say, without him, Trump wouldn't have won. Okay, Amanda, you got your rods. What are you getting? You have to let us know. Okay. Last question that I've starred is, did you mean to say Bondi release fake Epstein files? Oh, okay. Will Bondi release fake Epstein files or heavily redacted? It's a very slight yes. It's like she'll try to, but I think people are going to call BS on her. She's going to be called out. I don't think Bondi's going to be here very long, guys. I think he's going to scapegoat her. I really, really do. I don't think he knows that that will be a nice distraction. Okay. Will there be 3 days of darkness? When? How about in the next year? Will there be 3 days of darkness within the next year? It's kind of a very slight. Will there be 3 days of darkness within the next 2 years? There we go. So it's outside of a year's time. Interesting. Bye, Annie Bear. Thank you. Janet says, like there was no flour on the shelves during COVID. You got some at Dollar Tree. Yeah, I remember that. I don't think it's going to be like that. I don't know why. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm kind of stocking up on my coffee pods for my K cups. Amanda, sorry, but black tea just doesn't cut it for me. I've tried. It is my one addiction. Oh, is Elon helping Vance? Okay. Is Elon Musk helping Vance? Ooh, hey. Well, they both have ties to Peter Thiel, right? Okay. All right. Let's see if we have any other questions here. This is fun. Janet says, I remember his son laughing and saying to Trump, "You are not the president." Yeah. Wiping boogers on his desk. All right. Yeah, I think MTG is already also on the way out. Is MTG already cut off? Marjorie Taylor Greene already cut off from Trump's dark cave? Okay. See, it's more straight. When I get closer, they look like they're far apart. But here we go. Is MTG already cut off from Trump? Yes. Look at that. Okay. Yeah, I think all those yahoos are just secondary to him because she wants to see the Epstein. She's so stupid that she doesn't know that he's in the files. Sorry, but that's my opinion. Are the dark ones like Trump trying to stop the ascension? Oh, that was a good question, Library. There's a yes. I I do think that there are dark forces on the planet right now trying to slow, and this is that, battle between good and evil. That's my opinion. Okay. Um, you got a yes. Amanda also got a yes on Elon helping Vance. Peter Thiel, Janet, will he be exposed and his power taken away? Will Peter Thiel be exposed and his power taken away? It's like a very slight, almost maybe yes. Look at that. I think what it might be is some of his. He might have to leave the country. That's what I'm seeing. Like he might go underground somehow. Interesting. Amanda also gets MTG cutoff. Will they not exist in 5D? Okay. No, I don't believe the darker forces can ascend to 5D. They like it in the 3D. They can only be there. Ha ha ha, says Craig. I imagine MTG is too Neanderthal for Trump and MAGA. Oh yeah. Yes, their consciousness is too low for the higher vibration. You got a wobbly Peter Thiel as well for yes, wobbly yes. That's kind of what I got. Like just like I feel like he's going to get knocked down a peg or two, but I don't know how. And it might be that he has to leave some of his wealth behind. Lightberry, do the dark ones have their own psychics helping them? I've always wondered that about some. Yeah, okay, do the dark ones have their own psychics helping them? There's been a lot of this bobbling tonight. It's very unusual. Usually they're more decisive. But that is a yes. Okay? But I feel like because it bobbled that way, it's like are they tapping into their own dark forces? Yes. Are these dark forces ET, like reptilian in nature? Look at that. Wow. Okay. Janet says, underground to survive makes me think of cicadas. Yeah, they're insects. Gina says, I heard a spiritual teacher say, the light is not here to battle the darkness. The light is here to rescue the darkness. Ooh, I got a chill from that. I try to send light to everyone in power, hoping it lifts their vibration. I do the same thing, Gina. I really do. And, when I see somebody like Donald Trump, I see, even though he's done so much harm, I see like a scared child underneath it all. They can only see the lower perspective because their vibe is too low. That's right. And Amanda says, I get a no, then slow yeah about the psychics. Yeah, see, mine was really kind of undecisive too. Okay. Craig says, yep, she's got 3 toes with with hooves. Oh my god. They call her Margie 3 toes. Yeah, she's got some pretty funky feet. Okay. And let's see. Last question. Well, unless you have any others, real quick. Is the light we send to Earth helping? I like that question, and this is a really good question to end on. Okay. Is the light that we send to Earth helping? Boop. That's a yes. Is Archangel Michael helping us light workers bring more light in? Yes. Okay. is, see, the way I see it in my mind's eye is like I see all the archangels almost like encircling the planet with light energy. And I have to say that I just finished reading this or listening to this book because I walk and I listen. And it is called, it's another person who was trained by Dolores Cannon, and she was doing some hypnotherapy on a young lady. And the book is called, oh, where is it? Oh my gosh. Why is it not showing me? It was about, sorry, I apologize for the pause. Recently added. Sorry, this is on my phone. I don't know why I'm not seeing this. I'll find it. Then maybe I'll add it to my posts page. But what it talks about. Oh, here it is. It's called A Hypnotist Journey to the Sphinx. And so this person that she was interviewing, under hypnosis, goes through different lifetimes, but she goes all the way back to a lifetime when she was, extraterrestrial, and was involved with, like, activated the Sphinx and talked about the red crystals under the Sphinx that were Lumerian, that were healing. And that the Atlanteans couldn't handle the energy from these. But this was very, very interesting. Sorry, I just heard somebody talking downstairs. Anyway, but it was a very interesting book. The author is Sarah what is it? Sarah Broskman Cosme. Anyway, it was very interesting, and I think she's written a number of books like that. So I thank everybody so much for coming here, and I appreciate all your involvement very, very much. I think this was really fun, and we will keep doing it as long as we have questions, okay? So be well. Thanks.